Yeah, good day everyone. This is Jake Setro and you're welcome to Setro Craft channel. If this is your first time, please don't forget to press the like button and subscribe. Today we're having our introduction to sewing class. Introduction to sewing class for beginners. If you've not known anything in sewing. So we're good to go today. So I want to start with this, just explaining the sewing machines to you. I mean how it works, the part of the sewing machine, and just the straight stitches and some other things. So let's start with this. The sewing machine I use, it's an industrial sewing machine, Emel sewing machine. Industrial sewing machine. It's good in the sense that it can do art stitches on chinos, on lacquer materials, and so many other things like that. So easy. It works with it's an industrial electrical sewing machine. It can't work without light, but we have just normal machines that work without light and the likes, but this has to be with light. So having said that, and you just start with the parts of the machine. When you want to thread your machine, we have the spindle holder here, then we have this spool pin here that holds the thread. From the spool pin you come down here, you pass your thread to the spindle holder. You just take it this way and you come through the thread guide. Then you come through the thread guide here. You can also make it pass here. Then these the tension discs. This tension disc, so you make it pass in between this tension discs this way. You make your thread passing through the tension discs. If you don't thread the machine very well, it's not going to work properly. Then you pass through this thread guide. Then this is the thread take up lever. This is the hand wheel. This is the thread take up lever here. So you pass your thread through the thread take up lever and through the other thread guide. Then you come to the machine, the mouth of the needle. Then this is the machine foot. So you pass your thread through this way. I have another machine, manual stroke, or it's a manual machine, but it uses electric lights. It's alpha machine. You see how I'm passing the thread the left way, but for that alpha machine, if you've not known, it's just that it's not here, it's in one of my workstations. If you want to pass your thread through alpha machine, you don't pass through the left, you pass through the right. So there are some machines like that, but for this industrial machine, you pass your thread through the eye of the needle. You see how the needle is here, is the straight. So you pass through, just pass through this way, and you come out. So then when we talk about bobbin, this is your bobbin case underneath here. This is your bobbin case. So to bob, to reel your thread, some call it reeling. This is the bobbin winder here. This is the bobbin winder here. Here we have the on and off switch. The bobbin winder, when you want to start bobbing, this must actually touch this thread, and there should be no thread in the mouth of your needle. When you are bobbing, there should be no thread here. So you just take the thread from the spool pin this way, roll it a bit, and you take it into the bobbin winder, key it inside, so, and you hold it and you start. So it all depends if you're okay, but it's not good you bob to the extent that it's too full. It's not going to work out well when you're sewing. So just like that. So you put it in the bobbin case this way. It works in this is the bobbin case. So it works in an anti-clockwise position. So just come this way. This is how it is. Place it, comes here, So for you to check if your bobbin is okay, once you place, you bring out the thread from the thread hole this way, it must stand this way. If the bobbin is not properly fixed, you have to fix it somewhere here, so it will not stand this way. So you take it, hold it this way, then you go underneath and I'll fix it. If it's properly fixed, you're going to hear the sound. If it's properly fixed, you're going to hear a clicking sound. So just like that. So then this is your stitch. Here you have your stitch selector. Stitch selector for normal stitches, you can just use 2, number 2 for normal stitches. If you want it to be very tiny, you can use 1.5 or 1. Then if you want it to be too loose, you can use the stitch selector. I told you for normal stitches you can just use 2. If you want it to be very tiny, you can use 1.5 or 2.5. Some persons use 2.5. I prefer using 2. But if you want it to be loose, you can use 3. Then if you want to sew on gathers is 5, just like that. Then this is the reverse wheel. This is the reverse wheel. So just like that. So this 2 here, just like that. So I think with this, then this, when you're sewing, there is no way you don't make mistake in sewing. So then when you're sewing, this is what we call stitch removal, in case you make mistakes. So you just use this to remove the stitches, just like that. So it's easy as A and B and C sewing. So I want to give you an important tip in sewing, especially for beginners. You see, when you're sewing, so just note that if the machine is packing thread underneath, that's the reverse side of your sewing, the challenge will be from your tension discs here. So you just come here and adjust the tension discs. Then if the machine is packing thread on the right side here where you're sewing, the tension will be from the bobbin case. So you just go down it or underneath the bobbin case and adjust your bobbin very well. So that's just the easy steps. You can just take your thread like this, and if you don't do it, just bring out the thread from the bobbin case and you're good to go. The thread from the bobbin case this way, and you set both to the back, then you're ready for sewing. So what you start with when you're a beginner, sewing it's very easy but time demanding. That's just the thing. You have to have the time for sewing. So you start with straight stitches. So you just rule out. When you want to make sewing so easy for you, that's why you need your tape rule, your tailor's check. You need your tape rule, your tailor's check. You need your tape rule, your tailor's check, your ruler, your scissors. You need your curve tool and so many other tools you need in fashion. But what do you need actually when you're sewing? You need your tailor's check and your ruler. You should always, or your curve tool, when you want to draw curves and all the likes, just chalk out what you want to sew. That's the best way to achieve your sewing as a beginner. Chalk out what you want to sew. Maybe you want to sew the neckline, you chalk it out. You want to sew the armhole, you chalk it out. You want to sew the waistline, you chalk it out. Once you chalk it out, you just follow that line you've chalked out. You see, sewing it's very easy. So just making straight stitches like this. This is the up and down lever. This down, this up and down lever that controls your presser foot. This is the machine foot. And for your information, this is just the normal machine foot. We have invisible zipper machine foot for fixing invisible zipper, and we have what's it called, gathers foot. So you don't have to stress yourself making gathers on clothing yourself. So if you have access to it, gathers foot, you just change the foot from here, the presser foot from here. So you could change it when you want to affix your invisible zip, you put the invisible footer. When you want to make gathers, you put the gathers footer. So this is the presser foot. So the up and down lever, just take it half this way. So when you want to start, so you place your fabric, you make sure the needle is really on the line you want to achieve. So you press it down, then you use your hand wheel to start. Then you start. just straight down. Make sure you follow it carefully. So that's reverse stitch. You've done a straight line that way. You go again. Sewing it's very easy. You go on repeating it just like that. If I change the stitch to 2.5, you see how it's going to come out, the stitches. Just make it so, take it so carefully, just like that. See, that's 2.5. Then you come again. When you want to make curves, just like your neckline, your armhole, so you have your curve this way, just like that. If you keep turning it, just repeating the curve that way, you will be able, what the curve will do for you is that it will help you perfect the way you do your armhole, your neckline, and all. Like, so you just keep drawing circles like this, as in curves, semicircles like this, and you keep curving it this way, you'll be able to come out with something nice. For square like this, so you just make sure that you target the real point where you've chalked out. You must make sure that it's on point. That's what will bring out the shape you want to achieve. So important. So just come. When you get to this point, this angle, you make sure that the needle is inside the fabric this way. Then you press up the lever and you turn it this way. You straighten the fabric this way and you come. So when you get to this other extreme, make sure that the needle is also on the fabric. Then you turn it this way again, just like that. Just like that. And make sure that the fabric is well placed this way. Make sure you don't pass. If you see that you're trying to pass the places you've chalked, you make sure that you can just control it with your hand if you're not so perfect. So raise it up again. You turn it. You just keep turning to the position where you want to apply your stitches. And you start. So just like that, you achieve your, then that's what I was telling you about reverse stitches. So I made this. Let me just show you this about the stitch removal. If you have something like this, you just use your stitch removal this way. This is how this works. It will remove the stitches you don't want for you. You've seen it. Some other persons use this blade and the likes, such that we have your perfect stitches this way. So you could just use your hand to remove the stitches you don't need, just like that. So that's the work of the stitch remover. So if you want to also get your triangles, different necklines, see this triangle, you work for V-neck and so many other curves like that. Tangential points. Okay, for triangles like this, you start this way. You see it's slanty. You start the first notch. So you raise it up. Raise it up. What's the difference between the triangle and, you see, it's slanty, it's not like the rectangle. So you just down your cell lever. So this is how you come about the stitches in this is how you go about your stitches in fashion. So it's very, very easy, just as easy as A and B and C. So what you need to do is just to keep practicing. You practice the straight stitches, you practice the curve, you practice the triangle, you practice the rectangle, and you practice the square. Just practice all the practicables. By the time you keep practicing, you keep doing them one and over again, what's going to happen? Your hands will be straight. You'll be able to make straight stitches. So by the time you've learned how to cut fabrics, how to join fabrics, joining will be easy and you're good to go. So I do believe you've had a nice time today in this introductory class to sewing. Yes, with Selector on Selector Craft. If it's been great, don't forget to subscribe, share our videos, and press the thumbs up. So till I come away next week, like come away next time. Bye bye.